Buckle up, sports fanatics. This is the Sports Chasers Podcast, your HQ for in-depth sports talk. Join host Kevin L. Warren and crew as they dissect the hottest stories, ignite debates, and bring you closer to the action. From locker room whispers to expert takes, we cover it all. It's game time, so strap in and grab a drink. The Sports Chasers Podcast starts right now.
Hey, good evening. Happy Monday to everybody. What's going on, everybody? What's happening, everybody? It's another edition of the Sports Chasers Podcast coming to you direct, man. And it's a Monday night around 7:10 out here in the East, man. And we're here for the Sports Chaser for the Rewind live show, man. That's right. We talk about all the things that happen in the sports moniker genre over this past weekend, man. So also, before we start, make sure you like, click, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you also hit the bells for the notifications. And for my people on the podcasting side and the sound of my voice, make sure you give us that 5-star review. Tell us how we're doing. So we're going on with that. Let's meet the crew. Let's meet the angry one. Angry one, what's going on, brother? How are you tonight, sir?
Salute. How y'all doing? Monday night in review. Now how we do. That's balls right there. I'll let DA take it from there. But yeah, good to be here as always, man. Let's get it.
Let's get it. D-Dubs, what's up, brother? How are you tonight, man?
Yo, what up? Monday night, it's good. Sports Chasers, we in the building.
Okay, thank you. DA, what's up, brother? How are you, sir?
Man, I'm good. What's going on?
You look like you were waiting for the train or something.
Man, look,
like you just came down the stairs.
Just like that. Just straight like that.
Yeah.
Straight like that.
We'll get it together here in a second. He literally, like I said, he just flipped on the mic, man. I didn't actually expect him, man. But shout out to the DA, man. Shout out to the rest of the crew that can't be with us tonight, man. So y'all know what it is. It's Rewind Live. We talk about all the stuff. We're going to talk about all the stuff that happened in sports over the weekend, man. And I'm glad DA's tonight because I actually wanted to discuss an article that I had. And we usually lead off with the news, man. But I'm going to lead off with some sad news, so to speak. Let me get it right here. I thought I had it up. No, that's not it. But you know what? I'm going to begin with it anyway. Well, hold on a second. I thought I had it. I can't see a thing. Hey, I got it now. I'm sorry about that, folks. This is from CBS Sports, of course, from Adam Silverstein, and he says this: bigger than life in more ways than one. George Foreman captivated the hearts and minds of sports fans. Found a place on the kitchen counter of many American homes. A two-time heavyweight champion, entrepreneur, author, and minister, Foreman died Friday at age 76, according to his family and his publicist. Our hearts are broken with profound sorrow. We are announcing the passing of our beloved George Edward Foreman Sr., who peacefully departed on March 21st, 2025. Surrounded by loved ones, Foreman family announced on Instagram, a devout preacher, a devoted husband, a loving father, and a proud grand and great-grandfather. He lived a life marked by unwavering faith, humility, and purpose. Big George, as he was adored by his family and friends and fans, was best known as a championship boxer. He won the heavyweight gold medal at the 1968 Mexico City Olympics before beating Joe Frazier in Jamaica to capture his first heavyweight championship as a professional in 1973. The fight, dominated by Foreman, is well known as Howard Cosell's legendary call, "Down Goes Frazier." He then fought Muhammad Ali in 1974, a bout famously dubbed the Rumble in the Jungle. Foreman suffered the first loss of his career as the heavyweight favorite in Zaire, dropping the title to Ali via 8th-round knockout. The fight was one of the most watched televised events in history at the time and serves as a springboard to Ali deserving his moniker, the greatest. Foreman won a rematch against Frazier in 1976. He retired the following year after taking his second defeat at the hands of Jimmy Young. After 10 years away from the ring, Foreman returned in 1987 at age 38 and went on to win 12 straight fights before falling to Evander Holyfield via unanimous decision in 1981. Foreman regrouped through the 3 years and later in 1994, the 45-year-old Foreman defeated 26-year-old Michael Moore. And I remember where I was at for this, to capture the WNBA and IBF heavyweight titles. becoming the oldest man to ever win a world heavyweight championship in boxing. He ultimately relinquished the title to at 46 years old, 169 days old, before retiring for a second time in 97, having compiled a 76-5 record with 68 knockouts. Inducted into the World Boxing Hall of Fame and International Boxing Hall of Fame in 2003, many consider Foreman to be one of the 25 best boxers of all time. Foreman also served as the spokesman for the George Foreman Grill. I know everybody got to have one of those, right? Which
had one.
In 1994 became a worldwide sensation with a reported 100 million sold in the first 25 years of its existence. And it goes on. He talks about George, his wife, and his survivors and his kids, man. Shout out to George Foreman, man, a true legend. I'll pass it to the boxing dudes first. I'll give it to the DA. DA, your thoughts, George Foreman.
He's a bad dude, B. Like he knocked you. He used to knock dudes out without stepping in the punches. Like he just hit you with an uppercut. The punch would look like it's just out of nowhere. And most boxers, to a man, will say he was the hardest hitting guy that they have ever fought. He didn't pace himself when he was younger, and that's why he took some L's. Because he probably could have got Muhammad the first time, but he just threw himself out. Arms are tired. Joe Frazier was kind of easy because styles make fights, and he's a big dude. So Joe Frazier was short, and he could always punch down on him. He wasn't the most crisp puncher. Like, he was not a boxer. He was a brawler. If you look at the fights with him and Ron Lyles and Ken Norton, man, he used to drop dudes, man. He used to really hurt people, man. So and it didn't look like if you look at a boxer, they kind of twist their hips and they turn. He just walk up to you, hit it with an uppercut, and you go to sleep. So he was a real strong dude, like, for real. Great fighter. I don't think I am well versed enough to do that top 25 boxers of all time, because that's a lot of dudes that box, man. If you're gonna go just from Jack Johnson up, there's a lot of dudes that played that game. So,
but they were plumbers.
Yeah, plumbers are beat, yeah, straight up. Call Jack Johnson that, and you'll see what you get, because Willie Pep, Sugar Ray Robinson, So there's a lot of dudes. So I don't go there. But he was a bad man, and I believe, and me and my older brother talked about this, and we laughed. That 10, 15-year break is why he wasn't crazy when he finished, because he got hit a lot. He got hit a lot. Look at the Ron Lyles fight. You can even look at the Joe Frazier fight. He got hit a lot. But those years in between, when he was just chilling with his kids and named them all George, so he had extra brain space left because he didn't have to worry about nobody's name. He said George and everybody coming. Yeah, he's a great. I mean, I think I always enjoyed watching him fight when I was a kid. I always enjoyed watching the fights. Because back in the days they would tape the leg, closed circuit TV.
Closed circuit.
So you never got to see them when it happened. Like the older dudes in your family, if they could go to a bar and get it. But we had to watch like maybe a month later on ABC on Saturday, a Wide World of Sports. But I always tried to tune in when I could to watch him fight, because he's a bad dude, man. He's a bad dude. So God bless him. And the biggest thing, and it's out the ring, is that he got all his royalty money for that George Foreman grill. Right? So like usually dudes do something like that and they, get pennies on the dollar. He actually got a lot of bread for that. So whoever he was working with to get that popping, he did very well for himself, man.
100 million units.
You know what I'm saying? God bless him. And he up in heaven, chasing Muhammad down now. So, they're up there running from him right now. So, it kind of is what it is. So God bless you, sir. Sleep, rest in peace. And they don't make them like that no more. Well, they don't even fight like that no more. So, I'm not even gonna get into that. So
no, yeah, just
save it for another day, brother. They don't make them like that like they used to, man. That's the old school. They don't make them like Big George was something else, man. Big George Foreman. I mean, what can you say, man? The dude was you could say he's bigger than life, man. He was the most respected. He was a guy that had two parts of his career. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? The early part of George, and then the late part. I kept on the word you keep hearing is reinventing yourself, and it's something that I say as well as you are. As you get old or older, when you're young, you wild, you kind of crazy. You don't know, you're just out there, and then you try to when you slow down and to George credit in his 40s, he reinvented himself and came back at it and won the title again, beating Michael Moore. So again, what can you say, man? The fight with him and Frazier, which put him on the well, he was already on the map, but that one when he won the title, I think he knocked Frazier down like 6 times, right?
Yeah. But I mean, Frazier's caught him a few times, man. But
he did, but he didn't catch him.
The last one when he caught him, man, he hit him and made him jump up in the air. I said, God. Yeah, I said, boy,
George was a hard hitter, man. If you look back at the tapes, I wasn't around at the time, but you look at the tapes, man, and you look at the short hook that he threw to Michael Moore.
Yeah.
To me, at the time when I looked at it, I said, "What in the world?" And before I really understood how boxing worked, I said he caught him with a little short hook, and that sent him packing.
Yeah, he was a bad man, dude. If you ever get to look at, like when he was younger, they should show him in the gym with the heavy bag.
Yeah,
and he used to make a cheese doodle. Like he hit it, and the whole bag would go like this. It would be straight, and then he could crunch a bag like every time, and that's without feet. That's without moving his feet. He just turned and wail on it. And and something that Darryl said is really important.
Just flat-footed.
Yeah, that Darryl said is really important, man. I think it's the reinvention came because he got older, and I think he took boxing as a business, not just the boxing part of it. Soup to nuts, the whole thing. He was a character, fought like a character. He's the old Grandpapa George. All that stuff endured him to fans because I can tell you for a fact, my uncles used to tell me that people didn't like George Foreman in the 70s. He didn't do interviews. He didn't smile. He was there to rip your head off. But when he came back, he was happy, George, because I guess life had melded him and life was good. So,
the angry one can appreciate this one. George was probably like the first heel to go babyface, if so to speak, in WWE. If you would think about that, you know what I'm saying. You see that now with John Cena. John Cena turned heel from good babyface to heel, but George was probably the first one to really, I think, what the DA said, people hated him, like really, like for whatever reason. Couldn't stand George, but George was able to turn that around in his second act. And you think about other guys like even Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson to a whole different degree. I mean, in his second act, has people look at him differently. So also for George being the oldest heavyweight, I think prior to that was Jersey Joe Walcott, that 37. At the time, 37, because George, and Vander Holyfield won. He was the oldest at one point at 37 as well in 2000. So George Foreman in 1994, he won that. In 94, becoming the oldest at 45 years old. So again, man, kudos to him. Kudos to shout out to his family. He's going to be surely missed. George Foreman, rest in peace. Great man.
Gotcha, E. What you got?
Just to piggyback on what you guys said, I'm not well versed in the boxing arena like you guys are, but from what I remember about George, of course, I didn't catch the early part, the first phase of his career, but it just seems like it just as it's been described, it seems like at least to me, from what I read or whatever, it seems like boxing was almost like a survival type of thing for him in his first wave. So, he took time off, he had other things going on, you start to have a family or whatever, you take things, you start to put things in perspective. And as you said, as you get older, for most of us, we like to have some wisdom that and experience that comes along with it. And just his fighting style, he still punched the same and everything else, but hell, he blocked more when he got older, man. I mean, from the tapes that I've seen, man, George Foreman will always come full steam ahead and was almost like with block once and then start throwing like 50, 60, 70 punches and then but tail end of the career, you could see he was more honed in as a boxer, with again, he was still straightforward. He wasn't one of those guys that, who's dancing all this other stuff. It kind of reminded me of a regular street dude, the way that he boxed. You know what I'm saying? Punches just came out of nowhere.
Hey, E, hold that thought. D, I think you appreciate it. Yeah. D, he used to come with this kind of block
this. That was actually him and Mike. Actually, that's like, what's the guy you said, the mongoose? He says the guy, Jersey Joe. That's like part of that peekaboo style, all this custom model come down with you. And that was, man, and I think, honestly, I can only say, I think when he came back, he felt dudes didn't hit hard. And he could just, he could walk through that, because he was short enough, trying to cover up back in the 70s. So, I guess, he came back this time. He's like, I can handle this, And he used to walk through dudes' punches, man. So it's a blessing. It's definitely a blessing. So.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Well, he definitely came back in that era where the how can I say the level of heavyweight boxing wasn't what it was when he was in it in the 70s. So I guess he did feel like he could walk through. He wasn't fighting the guys that he fought back then. So he was damn near bigger than everybody too. So.
Yeah, that was the duck time, the 90s, because Riddick was good, but then Riddick didn't want to fight this guy, and then Holyfield was still there. Mike was in jail. Lennox was doing this thing. Lennox would have fought him. He had more Racine Machman. Yeah, like my man, my camera said, right? Yeah. Yeah. So, and I'm trying to think of other dudes. I think two of those guys came a little later, but there wasn't any real, you had Holyfield. Holyfield would go through a war with you, but essentially, and Michael Moore was good, but he wasn't nothing to really be scared of as a heavyweight champion, as I remember him. But not to say he's bad, because to be a champion in anything, you got to be really good. So they had no beef with him, man. Big love for George, man. I think it teaches young dudes that if you're an idiot when you're young, if you sit back and think about it, maybe you can change what you're doing and change the way people view you. And you see the bread, how it came to him when people viewed him as the old grandfather George. Then came the grill, and now all George and all the little Georges and the little grandchildren Georges all got bread today. So I think that's what I like, man. So.
I'll just say this. I think all y'all have said it, eloquently, about him having two parts to his career, reinventing himself. There's a lesson in that too, as D-Dubs alluded to earlier. And like I said, I don't remember the first portion. I was just too young. But I remember, the phenomenon. I was like, man, I said, this old dude is coming back and just wrecking havoc. And like you said, DA, you made a good point. Him taking off the 10 years probably made him from not being, having, those CTE injuries and all that stuff. And made him, like you said, into a character and made him the lovable George. I was watching a documentary today on YouTube about that. Shout out to YouTube. About, how George, like you said, he wasn't liked in the first portion of they did not like him. The fans were definitely against him.
And also, Kev, remember, Muhammad Ali had a lot to do with that fight.
Yeah.
People call him Big Ugly George. Muhammad Ali was well loved. We gotta remember that he was beloved.
Yeah,
when they fought.
Yeah, that's a great take. You're right.
You know what I'm saying? So he had something to do with that. I think they had I believe they squashed their.
I don't even know if George really had a beef with him. He just didn't like him. It's weird because he went to Olympics, and that's the one that Muhammad didn't go to, was 68, right? And then you had the besides the beef that per se they had in the ring, that was just boxing. You got to kind of get yourself psyched into it, but
right.
Just to be clear, but Muhammad had a beef. He made a lot of people look bad in soundbite because he did the same thing to Frazier.
Joe Frazier, I don't want to talk about
Frazier. That was like
I don't like that. I don't like what he did, and because Joe Frazier was the first dude to give Muhammad Ali money, gave him bread when he came home from jail. Joe Frazier was the one who gave him some paper. But what happened was, again, Muhammad was playing chess, dudes was playing checkers, because, again, he was thinking of this thing the whole business way through. So if he said something to you on TV, don't take it to heart, because he didn't feel that way. He just was, doing it for the cameras. Yeah, so like you said, D, he was the dude that would make you a heel, because just because Muhammad was so popular,
right?
If you were fighting him, all of a sudden you're a bad guy. Yeah, you're a bad
guy. Yes, correct.
Because they had death threats against Michael Spinks or Leon. Yeah, Leon Spinks.
Yeah.
So Leon just trying to get some teethus.
Poor Leon, man.
Man, yeah, like I said, and DA alluded to the George Foreman grill, man. Everybody, the sound of my voice, got one. Either bought the big one, the small one, whatever you had. And I was watching something, or somebody sent me something on Instagram about. It might have been one of y'all guys about. Hey, the George Foreman grill. Where is the off button at?
Just take the meat off.
It wasn't what I was thinking. It was unplugging. Unplugging.
You overthink it.
I don't recall him having because if the original ones, the original owners, if you're an old school owner, the one I bought a small one.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just a green light. You just wait for that green light to pop on. It's hot. It's ready to go. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I don't know.
I'm trying to remember who said that to me yesterday, but somebody said that to me yesterday, and I was screaming because I was like, no, there was no on button. Like you said, you wait for that. It turned from orange to green, and then that's when you knew.
Yeah, that's it. That's when you knew.
I think George Foreman saved a bunch of lives, man. You think about for years,
absolutely,
all the grease coming out that meat, because we used to just throw it in the pan and have the bread all soggy with grease and whatnot. So, when George came, he said, nah, man, we're going to
grease.
Take some of that grease up out of there. And, it was good money, man.
D, I think you hit the nail on the head, man. How many lives George have saved, man?
Y'all
grandpas,
I might be testifying now.
Yeah, I might be one of those staying alive because it's George Foreman grill, man. Shout out to George Foreman, man, and his family.
Yeah, man. And people don't talk about things like that, but that's what I think, man. So that's what I think.
Man, it's definitely. He will be missed, man. Like you said, I know exactly where I was at when he knocked out Michael Moore in the 8th round. And like you said, 10th round, excuse me. And he was absolutely. Michael Moore was beating him in that fight. He absolutely was beating him. It was a good fight, but I think scorecard Michael Moore was beating him, and before you know it, I was like, man, George hit him with that thing, bow. And like you said, he just hit flat-footed, like. No, nothing. It was just crazy how he would do stuff, man.
Yeah, he learned how to box that way. You can't beat it. That's just the way he did his thing, man.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Absolutely, man. Rest in peace, George Foreman, one of the greats in boxing, man. Let me just move on. We missed this story last week, but I'm just going to dive into it real quick. From Joanne Coley of the Washington Commanders. And she says this: the Washington Commanders shocked many people last season, not just with their 12-5 record, but one of the biggest upsets of the year, ending the season of NFC North's top teams, which is now pushing for a major rule change. The Detroit Lions had a monumental season and were even predicted to reach the Super Bowl until the Commanders marched into Ford Field for the division round and crushed their hopes. In a 45-31 defeat, Washington advanced to the NFC Championship game, where they ultimately fell to the eventual Super Bowl champs, the Philadelphia Eagles. Now the Lions are proposing a rule change that could change how the postseason playoff season is done. Instead of its current rule, the proposal would seed playoff teams based on a regular season record. I hear the growls in the background, regardless of whether a team secured a division title or earned a wild card spot or not, according to the NFL Network's Mike Garofalo. Under the current playoff seeding, the 4 division winners automatically earn the top 4 seeds, with the remaining 3 spots going to the next best team by record. That's how the Rams, who won the NFC West with a 10-7 record, secured the number 4 seed, even though the Commanders finished with a 12-5 record. That pushed Washington down to the number 6 seed, despite having a better record, forcing them into an early matchup with the Lions instead of the Lions facing a lower seed opponent.
Look, man. I did not run my behind home, up and down stairs trying to find my mom's crib. They hear this stupidness, man. Play the damn game, all right? So now it's not if you make the playoffs or not. It's who you got to play in the playoffs. Dog, listen, the reality was, Detroit, you were home and you lost. End of story. Conversation dead. Over. It doesn't matter when it happens. So you're like, if we'd have played another team first. So say the same thing happens and they come to your house and beat you. What is the issue, man? San Francisco went to your house and beat you last year. Why don't you get your stuff together, get it right, stop trying to make rules changes, and maybe you win a game because you had the better roster. All you did, you lost Aiden Hutchinson. And now he's a dog, fellas. But I'm just saying, man. They had a few injuries, but they also had dudes that came off the street and was playing very well last year. So we don't need it. We got to keep the tush push. You play who you get, and let's get on with next season, please. Let's not.
And as soon as I talk about football, guess who pops on though?
Yeah. Come on in.
East Coast Gridiron, man. Yeah. Shout out to my East Coast Gridiron, man.
Salute.
Thank you guys, man. If y'all need to check them out, man. They football 24/7, man. I was watching.
They'll agree with me.
They was breaking down Shador Sanders, his draft stock. So man, make sure you check out the ECG, man. East Coast Dante and all the fellas over there. D-Dubs, your thoughts on the Lions crying? I should say Lions crying.
Lions crying. This is part of the what do you call it? Everybody trying to be a victim, dog. This is the victim society that we live in, and we always trying to make some rules up as we go along, dog.
Yeah, well, it's like your father owned the AAU team, and if other teams that beat you, hey, you can't have no kids on the team 6 feet tall.
Right. you see what it's like? Come on, dog. Come on. We talking crazy talk. And how about whatever happened to just, if you're good, you'll beat. It doesn't matter if you're home, you're not at home, you at your mama's house, at your grand. It doesn't matter. If you're good enough, you'll win.
Supposedly.
Well,
if you're good, you'll win. It doesn't matter. It won't matter.
So if you get
the teams that's in front of you,
if you get rid of the divisions, what do they want? They just want 1 through what is it? 1 through 12. What is it? How many? How much is it?
Again,
1 through
15. What would it matter?
Yeah.
What does it matter? That's my question. What does it change?
Yeah, absolutely. E, what you got on this right here?
I got you, because this is a bunch of nonsense, and it's not what I really want to say. But I ain't. Man. Regardless, even okay. So let's say if it was the Rams, if you would have played the way that you played, the Rams would have beat you. So it wouldn't have mattered. Like everybody else has already said, it wouldn't have mattered.
Oh,
so would you take it for granted that you would have lasted a week? You had home week. Man, come on,
home
man.
field. You were there in
last
your
time
house.
I checked, to be honest, the last time I checked, there's a lot of teams over the years. I'd say half. If we go back the last 10 years, I'll say probably maybe 4 at the most have won Super Bowls that came from playing wild card weekend. So just because you got the number 1 seed doesn't mean anything either. Look, you guys, I'm looking at y'all like overachievers, because now you're panicking. You got to start paying some of them players that you got over there, and
lost their coordinators.
Yeah. You got to pay all St. Brown.
So
go ahead.
What's best for you in Detroit? who's best for you in Detroit and do better next time. That's all I got.
Like I said, I don't know what the Lions want. They had the game at home, win the home game, and you'll just shut everybody up, right? But nope, y'all complain about this. Go ahead,
like
D.
the DA said, you lost on the road the year before.
I don't know how much home cooking you want, man. Get better.
You want the Kansas City special? I guess. I don't know.
Maybe they need to buy a George Foreman and get some better home cooking, because obviously they had
it's too much grease in their hamburger, dog.
Yo, shout out to Dante. He says if the Eagles said it, it would have made sense. He's absolutely right.
Right. Exactly.
I'm not trying to hear y'all, man. I'm not trying. Now y'all sound crazy, man.
I'm not trying to hear none of them, man. Because nobody's being cheated except for the rest of the league versus Kansas City. But no one else is really being cheated.
Yeah, and the Eagles handled that early.
Yeah, you gotta play who's there. I mean, regardless. That's what I don't understand. I never can understand what the issue is. So I don't know.
It's moot point, so to speak. I guess I don't know how that changes. Hopefully the league won't change it, and we ain't trying to hear that. And also the Tush push. Your thoughts on that real quick before we move on to the next.
It's not going to get moved. There's nothing you can do about that.
Practice it and learn how to beat it, or
Oh, but it's a rugby play.
No, not really. That's just the way they used to play football in the 1950s. No. That's a whole before they started throwing the ball in the 50s and 40s. That's the way they used to play football. It's called a wedge. If you're running a double wing, if Dante, you just need to call in, man. So if you run that wing or you're running that veer, it's the same play. You get behind, everybody gets tight. 1, 2, 3 back, quarterback gets it. It's almost like you're watching Georgia Tech, but they're just going over the goal line. The reality is, if you want to stop it, I sent you a tape a few weeks ago when that Giants thing I showed you. When Harry Reason's quarter do it right there. Bow. No, you got somebody got to go low. Trip up the offensive line. Like actually, it's an old thing, when you were in Pop 1 as a kid, your coach would tell you just roll. You roll, you trip them over, and then your linebacker comes over the top. That's all you can do. If not, don't let them get to the 1, stupid. There you go. Don't let them get to the 1. There you go. It's all easy from there.
Definitely is. Yeah, Tush push. I think that was the Green Bay Packers. They had said something about the Tush push, another playoff team. All the playoff teams are whining, man. I know y'all gotta get stop that wine and cheese crackers, man. So
said boo-hoo, whine and crying, bro.
Boo, whine and crying, man.
I really ain't trying to hear it, man.
I'm not in 2025, man. Stop it, man. Yo, it is what it is, man.
You got what you wanted. Stop. It's enough. Just go ahead. How about just win the game? That's it.
Yep.
So that's it.
Shout out to them, man. Let me move to some WNBA news here. It says here, this is from Hawk Central, and this is from Cooper Worth here, and it all the descriptions of the links that we read here will be in the description, man. If you want to check it out, man. We give credits here. We don't take no credit. We give credit here. After smashing viewership records on the heels of a Rookie of the Year winner, the Rookie of the Year winner, Caitlon Clark, the Indiana Fever, will have the most appearances on national television of any team during the upcoming WNBA season. The WNBA announced its television schedule on Thursday, and Indiana will appear on national television in 41 of its 44 games. 10 appearances will be on ABC, ESPN, 8 on IN Network, and 7 will be broadcasted by CBS and the CBS Sports Network. The Fever getting the most appearances on national television shouldn't surprise many during Clark's rookie year. All of the broadcasting partners for the WNBA had their highest viewed WNBA games, all of which featured Indiana. The Fever had quite a fruitful season, both on the court and at the bank. Indiana saw a 265% increase in ticket sales year over year, a 1,193% in jersey sales, and 225% increase in corporate sponsorships. The Fever also made the WNBA playoffs for the first time since 2016. And they also did some venue moves. Also, they will be moving games for the Atlanta game. They'll be moving to the State Farm Arena. For the two Chicago Sky games, they'll be moving to the United Center, home of the GOAT, Michael Jordan, and the Chicago Bulls. Connecticut Sun, they'll be moving that game to TD Garden in Boston, where the Celtics play at. And the Dallas Wings game, they'll be moving that game to the American Airlines Center, where the Mavericks play at. And the Las Vegas Aces game, they'll move that game to the T-Mobile Arena, where the Golden Knights and most of the boxing events happen at, for my boxing fans. And then for the Washington Mystics games, they'll have the two games playing at the CFG Bank Arena, which used to be the Capital One Arena, or it used to be the Cap Center, or whatever they call it now. I'll give it to E. Your thoughts on Caitlon Clark, the Caitlon Clark effect?
Yo, man, we all knew this was coming. I mean, this is no breaking news to me. I mean, she's box office. She's top billing, with however you want to use it. Yo, man, everybody, obviously they're selling out. Everybody wants to see her. Well, maybe not everybody. I'm sure there's going to be some pushback on this topic. But yo, man, it is what it is, man. Let the stars be the stars. Let the money come in, and if you feel away, I'm talking to the other WNBA players that may feel away. Yo, man, play better, and let you and your team be the reason next year why your team is on for 40 out of 44 broadcasts or what have you. Yo, man, it is what it is, man. The NBA is the same way. You're not seeing Orlando and Atlanta on every night, so it is what it is. It's the CC effect, man. So until somebody else can prove us wrong, hush and enjoy.
Enjoy. D-Dubs, thoughts on Caitlon Clark, the Caitlon Clark effect?
Caitlon Clark is living rent free in these people.
Yeah. She's just
yo, man. She needs to get a marketing person behind this, man.
Because she doesn't say a word.
She just but if she had like a Floyd Mayweather attack or whatever the kids just do something crazy, she would be raking in the dough, man. And all she had to do is just perform. If she had somebody else just to do that marketing part for us, she'd be all right. But I don't understand what's the problem, man.
I don't think there should be a problem.
What's the problem?
I don't think anybody got a problem. Listen, man.
It's money for the league, right? It's all eyes on her until
everybody
until somebody else is the new flavor of the month. You understand what I'm saying? Like, why are we
poo-pooing on
this? Why are we just congratulating? And this helps everybody, right? What they say?
We haven't heard anything yet. Shit. Let's just say that.
Let's just say that. Let's be clear, right? That's what they say, right? Rise and raise on. Okay.
But we know it's coming.
I don't understand. I truly don't understand it, man. It's just
wait till this
sickening. But I'm just, whatever, man. Yeah.
I haven't seen. I guess a good thing about me is that I'm not the biggest watcher yet. I'm trying. Life is busy for the D. But the reality is this: I haven't heard anybody say anything yet because everybody's getting it back, right? And like I said, the other day, this is easy, right? Because this year I don't think no one's really coming in. That's I
was about to say this for you.
It's going to be, per se, but the WNBA got some work to do, right? They'll figure out a way to get Caitlon to do things that are part of her personality, that fits with who she is, and not going outside of herself, because she doesn't seem to be the type of young lady to do some, showboat stuff, because that's not how she get down. But
we seen this before, right, D? What's my name? Mike Trout, right?
Yeah,
he's not that type of person.
Yeah, so I mean and she'll perform in games and wherever venue you put her, she's going to play. That's not an issue either. I just think the WNBA. This is an easy year. This is a gimme year for them. Next year is going to be hard. When Juju comes in and Hidalgo comes in, the girl from Kentucky, no, not Kentucky, I'm sorry, Louisville, the girl from Rutgers, that play Caitlon's position, that are 1s and 2s.
Yes.
Then you'll actually have competition on a night-to-night basis.
Oh,
everybody got to come up. Everybody got to come up there. See, and because I've always felt, though, it's low-hanging fruit for everybody else on the internet, but the reality is, it's not that Angel may not be as good as her, facts, but the point is they don't do the same thing. So it's you want to put Aaliyah Boston up against Angel. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because they play this, they don't even do that really, but I'll just say that because they're both 6'4". So like I said, it's a situation where the WNBA has a mulligan year to kind of put together that marketing plan, as you guys said, and Caitlon still may not want to do it because that's not her style. Like you may never get a Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, her and Juju doing the commercial. It may never happen, But they got to play because I think he made a point about Atlanta and Orlando. If Orlando was playing the same way they was playing the end of next year, then they would have been on TV a whole bunch. Mm-hmm. But they had injuries. They weren't playing the same. And that's why I don't want to put the chicken
before the
egg or whatever the egg is. Because you don't know what Caitlon does this year.
Right.
Because remember, she was a rookie last year.
Oh, you're not a believer.
I believe. What am I going to believe? I tell you one thing. If you believe in something, then you do not know it. All right?
Well,
if you know something, you don't have to believe a damn thing.
What I do know is that she put on a ton of muscle. So I don't know if that's some AI predict.
Hope she ain't on that balcony. Oh, sorry.
She looked like she's in phenomenal shape from the picture I've seen. So I don't know. And with all this AI stuff, I don't know what's real, what's fake.
They might be lying, man. Because one week I saw Luka Doncic. He was skinny, and then he got knocked down on the floor, and Luka looked like John Belushi. So I was like, who the
John Belushi.
I said, who the hell is that?
Yo, he got a fat suit on, dog.
Oh, okay. All right.
But kudos to the young lady. Hopefully this thing works out. And the WNBA should be good. It's been popular. I've been watching a lot of it, I should say, of the NCAA females. What I do want to say, Kev, just to veer off this thing, is that we got to figure out how to get competitive teams. And I've been, I've been talking about these competitive teams, putting teams that's competitive. We had a game. SC beat.
Oh, you talking about the women's?
Yeah, the women's.
Yes, the women's game. Yes,
70 points, man. Come on.
Well, they don't have enough teams. Believe me, man. You just have to be patient because there aren't enough girls teams at the level of the top 10 college teams. So there's always been that. Right. It's better now than what it was when it was Pat Summitt in Tennessee because it was just them.
Right.
So they beating people.
Connecticut was just coming up and they was getting beat.
Right.
So when Shamika Holtzclaw and them from Queens is on playing for Tennessee, you did not have a chance. You may as well give them the championship.
Yeah, they was doing that
first game of the year. Yearly basis.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. It's like it's hard, but right now, the way conferences have to be realigned, the NCAA has to get behind that the same way they get behind college football and men's basketball. But it's not there yet because Juju is special, and there's not going to be another Juju probably for another few years.
As I say that, I got LSU ladies against Florida State, and that game is 101-66. Florida State is the 6th seed. LSU, of course, is the 3 seed.
But there's not a bunch of 5-star women out there playing. You know what I'm saying? There's not a bunch of 5-stars to be distributed to every team.
Right.
Sean Staley just signed a girl that can punch it with both hands. That's in 10th grade, and they signed her. You're not going to get a chance to get away. Don't get away.
Iowa just lose to Oklahoma. Oklahoma smashed them, put like 96 points, 90, almost 100 points. That's another game. They beat them by 34, if I'm not mistaken, this afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, you ain't. I mean, you're not lying. I mean, yeah, it's not. This is true. But
And it's not that they can't play, but it's
No, I'm not. No, and I'm not remotely saying they. Well, I guess I am. I might be saying some of them can't. I mean, some of them. It's just the matchup is the matchups is bad. I mean, I don't think we should be seeing in the tournament 70-point wins.
Yeah,
In
well,
basketball.
That's because there's only
34-point wins.
10 teams, 15 teams, and women's college basketball where you got 13 good players.
Maybe we need to cut it down. I understand they try to emulate. Yeah.
They want to capitalize on the money. They're greedy. That's what they want. They're not trying to not do anything. They're trying to get all the money.
They're trying to get all of it, but I don't know. We'll see.
So they're gonna have to get better at it. So they're gonna have to get better. If they want it to be right, they're going to have to get better at that. So
yeah. This next article I'm going to read is going to lead us into the men's and the ladies basketball, and this might be a two-parter because there's a lot to get into it, and I'm glad the DA was able to show up tonight, and we might have to leave it, put some of it also for Thursday because Mike and Ryan's not here today. They are basketball dudes, but I'll just read it right here, and so this is from Pat Ford from Sports Illustrated. He says this college sports gigantism isn't just for football. It has taken over March Madness as well. For the first time in history, the men's basketball Sweet 16 is comprised completely of teams from the football playing power conferences, a record 7 from the SEC, 4 from the Big 10, 4 from the Big 12, and 1 from the ACC. And that's the fewest conferences ever represented in a Sweet 16. Chalk over charm. Consolidation over variety. Cinderella has been rubbed out, he says. There weren't many legitimate Cinderella options to begin with. The power leagues ate up a record number of bids, 14 for the SEC, 8 for the Big 10, 7 from the Big 12, 5 from the Big East, 4 from the ACC. The only other conferences that got multiple bids were the Mountain West and West Coast. The best chance for a non-power conference program to advance to the second weekend was the Colorado State Rams, who took a 1-point lead into the final position against Maryland, only to be defeated by Queen's Gambit. He did travel, by the way. Freshman Derek Queen banked in a first buzzer beater of the tournament Sunday night to eliminate the Rams, and that was basically that. Thus, the tournament will be moved forward without one of its cherished plot lines, the unheralded underdog that pulls a couple of upsets and introduces itself to America. The only double-digit seed still playing are the 10-seed Arkansas Razorback with one of the largest NIL payrolls in the sport and coach that nobody's idea. So I'll stop right there. And DA, since you chimed in, go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's it. We're gonna stop the BS. The schools that are paying are playing. Right? It's not that the kids. That's the one thing that was, again, it goes back to the girls' game we was just talking about.
Right.
A team that's from the Mountain West will have a bunch of great players, maybe 1 or 2 states, Mr. Basketball, whatever it is, right? But Arkansas has 12 of them. There lies the difference, right? So when Dorian was playing at VMI, they said, like, we got 1, 2 dudes at 6'9". They played Virginia Tech, they had like 8 dudes 6'9". You know what I'm saying? So there's a difference, man. So if you're going to spend the money on the players, you too will have, because these kids don't care. They'll go to Colorado if they get in the bag. But it's if you are committed to it or not committed to it. If you're committed to winning, to do this, to get the players, you will get the players because, as we've heard already, these kids are leaving in the middle of the season. So if you're giving up a deal, a good enough deal right now, they'll be there next year. Because they're only going to be there 2-3 years anyway, if that. So if you want them, get it while it's hot. But if you don't want to pay, I don't know, you can tell you about some doggone Cinderella, man. Cinderella could do the same thing if Cinderella was driving a Benz. Are you paying? If you're paying, the kids will come.
Did y'all catch that?
You know what I'm saying? They will not come if you're not giving them no bread. Because it's the same amount of practices, same amount of travel, same this, same that. And they offer me 1.5 over there. and you offer me $400,000 here? Ah, stop. You know, people got to understand. So if you look at your boy Derek Queen, Cooper Flagg, the point guard from Baylor, and there's 2 other schools. They have one team.
They saying you messing up the American dream.
Ain't no American dream. The dream is getting the money.
It's starting from the bottom.
I am starting at the bottom. I get there, you give me the money, and now I'm up. What do you mean, stay at the bottom? I'm supposed to stay here? How many years am I supposed to stay here at the bottom?
Well, they say you're not giving the opportunities of the
opportunities. I'm a 5-star. I'm 6'10".
The mid-major schools.
That's not my fault. Give them their own tournament. Why don't you make all the mid-majors go to the NIT, and then the NIT will be a big thing. And for the big schools that don't make it to the NCAA, spend more money.
But they saying cats ain't gonna watch the NIT.
No. If every school, every team has an alumni. So if it's Dayton against Ohio University and they're in the NIT, it's going to be packed out, and people are going to be watching it.
Did you watch the NIT versus the NIT versus the NCAA?
No, well, everybody can't make. As long as you know that with scarcity, everybody can't make the NCAA, right? So that's just a fact. So it's like the football thing. Everybody's not going to make it. So you got to give the other dude something to do.
I think what Mr. Pat Forte was trying to convey, what I understand from the article, and like I said, we'll bring this up. You're not. So this looks like this is going to eliminate mid majors.
Only if the NCAA lets that happen.
Well, Dave, they can't spend the money if they're not going to spend the money. I don't know.
Yeah, but that's not. That's what I'm saying, Kev. Like, you can't be mad. Kevin, you got $1 million, Kev. You can spend $1 million on players, or you could get 2 packs of cigarettes, some muscatel, and 3 blunts, and you're going to give that out to the team and keep $997,000 to yourself. It's up to the school. It's your system now. If you don't believe in your system, then do it the way you're doing it. You'll get a kid here and there that goes to the pros, but that'll be it. Because you know what happened in a year or two? The SEC went from being a football conference to a basketball conference. You want to know why? Because they spent the money.
So basically, all right. So check this out. So the mid majors is definitely is going to become just a funnel for the power conferences.
Well, they are like that in football. So yes.
Okay, we're jumping. So how are they like that in football? Explain that to me.
Because every starting running back that played this year on a major team probably came from a Townsend State. They don't want freshmen. You know, you get a cat from Townsend State that's played football for 2 years. He's been lifting for 2 years, knows how to play college football, doesn't need to know your system, but knows the fundamentals, versus a kid that's just come out of high school that can't even find his dorm room. So that's why they get all of the transfers in football. You know,
gotcha.
Rick Pitino just said next year.
He just said that
we don't want any freshmen. He said we're not recruiting any 5-star freshmen from anywhere. If Jesus walked you in the gym, Rick Pitino saying, "Man, you better take him the hell up out of here."
Not the hell.
Yeah, the hell, because you can get a kid that went to CUNY that's 6'8", can play. You know, maybe he's only 6'4" when he got to college, and now he's 6'8", and now he's a bigger addition for that St. John's team rather than to bring in a kid that's a freshman.
Well, let me ask you, even if the high school player is a generational talent, he's still not.
Because you're not there. That's not your job. That was only Calipari's job to get dudes to the league. You know what college coaches want to do? Win college championships so they get paid big dollars.
Yeah, I get that, but I'm just off of what Pitino said about the. I was just wondering.
Look, man, the high school kids are only going to be there a year anyway. So of that year, what would you rather get? A kid that can help you win a national championship, or a kid that's going to get himself to the pros?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, let me go back to the other point you made the other night. You made the other point that the kids are going to stay. This is going to make kids. The NIL thing in basketball is going to make them stay 3-4 years now.
Yeah,
because the money is they making the money. They're making probably more money than they were making in a NBA or.
At least in the G League, they are. Yeah, they're making more money in the G League.
Exactly.
So.
At least
First
the G
rookie
League,
contract, at least.
Right. So, and I had a conversation, matter of fact, this morning about Cooper Flag. You know, I said, well, maybe it don't benefit him to go. But then again, I'm like, well, if he stays, he get paid. He'll get paid more with the NIL deal. This one kid, one cat just got $7 million, right?
Yeah.
I forget.
Listen, and see,
somebody
that's
just got paid.
When I said that to Ryan last week, he was like, "Oh no, it's okay." You know,
well, like
it's all about prospects, right?
Well,
so where you're going to get drafted at, you know, what your upside is for real, and what your chances of winning a championship next year.
And it depends on the kid if he really cares, because he may not care about going to the next level.
Oh, then what do you mean? He wants to be the next LeBron James.
No, he's gonna be
let me tell you something, man. Everybody got, as you see, everybody has different aspirations and want to do things. They're not even merely interested in becoming the next whoever. They just interested in getting this next bag. And if they could get it and secure it and don't have to play all these years of football or whatever and worry about CTE and all this other foolishness.
That's a good point.
If you playing a smart game. I mean, some people don't care about no legacy.
Man, listen, Cooper Flag will be a fun. I just think that he's
like,
listen,
nobody cares.
If he's going to be, you know, his thing is like, listen, if you know, you got to sit back and do the stats, man. If you feel that him coming back and staying, he may get a championship next year, which of course will make his rookie contract even fatter, more advertisements, a bunch of things, and how he feels physically. Remember, he had the high ankle sprain, and you're not exactly sure where he's at. Now, he's played against pros, but most kids that are that good play against pros in college or in high school, even if they're that good. So I remember Ron Artest used to play against pros when he was in high school. So it you know, it's up to what he feels is best for him, his agent, his people, and all the rest of that stuff, man.
Hey, D, Kevin, just real quick.
And again, go ahead.
I say this like, and how much do they care? Like, this is not like how it was. The game has changed so much. They have devalued so much stuff out of it that I don't think these guys really care. There's nothing for them to care.
It takes a partnership between the NBA and the NCAA. If the NBA changes some of the rules, right, that'll make kids kind of, I guess, maybe learn a little bit more, right, in college, where it makes going to college and being in college that basketball education at that point. If it makes it worth it because you'll be a better pro, then yeah, why not do it rather than just be a kid that's really talented? Because there's a lot of those dudes in the NBA. Like, everybody in the NBA is talented, but they may not have the highest IQ. They may not have the highest IQ. They may not do this right. They maybe don't act the right way. Have never been outside their homes. You know, that's what college is for. It'll teach you some basketball things, but it's more to teach you how to be an adult. You know, because you still have rules. Yeah. You know, you still got rules.
Let me ask you this. And I was going to read some more of the article, but what do you think about as far as the NIL and the transfer portal rule? Do you think there should be some governors and some parameters on it? Do you think like the kid, he only gets one shot of being in the transfer portal and then he got to sit out, something like that? You know, I've heard some things like that, or just leave it the way it is.
I just think that the NBA, these leagues, NBA, NFL, NFL and NBA, NFL and NCAA pretty much, I think they working together. The NBA and the NCAA are not. I think they have both messed up the product for both of them, to be honest with you. So it's just like, you know.
When you say mess up the product, elaborate a little bit.
As far as because these guys, some of them not ready, right? They're not ready. And when you able to jump, you jump. And I know why they jumping. They're jumping for the money. But when you jump so early, you come in and you're really not ready for the NBA, so to speak.
Well, some people will say a bit different, but go ahead.
I just think that because it just used to be a thing, so far as I'm concerned, from when I seen back in the day. You know, you played, you got mature enough, you matured, you understand the game,
right?
You move over to the next level and you become a pro. There's just levels to this. It's just like, I think I mentioned this to you. I was at a fair and this girl, She came up and she said, I want to be a homicide detective. Like she wanted to like leave school and go. I was like,
oh no, boo, you got to be in uniform.
right? There's usually steps to the game. You just don't. I don't know too many jobs. You just skip steps and you just. But well, we know some, but.
Nope. Don't.
Right? Am I crazy, DA? I mean, am I crazy?
No, you're good. I mean, like I said, it's basketball is a lot of things that have to be done, and everybody tells you that. Everybody says the same thing. That it starts at the grassroots level in basketball. AAU has to be changed. Stop playing so many games. More developmental stuff. That you can do to get the guys ready to play. What a pin down is, what he's setting a pick, doing this, rolling this, right? Those things are simple, not simple, but those are things that kids learn, or at least
basics. Those are basics.
Yeah. So when you get to college, you can get the advanced stuff now, right? You know how to run a system, do this or do that. Now, it doesn't happen because the NBA is still taking kids straight out of high school, or if the guys on television from the NBA perspective are saying this kid here is a cat and this kid, I've never heard of
generational talent.
Everybody's a generational talent because they all part of some generation and they all got some talent. So it's not something that's really
it's not real.
Yeah, it's not
people in your imagination.
Yeah, because hey, you get somewhere. Look, listen, man, and I'm gonna stop on this one now. Zion Williamson is as good as people thought he was. Facts. He's been tearing up the league. All he had to do is get back in shape, get his legs right, all the rest of that stuff. That generational thing, there were high hopes for the kid. And he still may be that. It's not that you don't get in the Hall of Fame at the year 5. All right, you got a whole career to play.
Well, according to this girl, she wanted to get to
Yeah, we know, but she doesn't understand. And that's the problem with the basketball thing, is that for you to be a high school 5-star kid and you not understand the steps to being a pro, there's something very wrong. That's all. For you to be a high school 5-star, been on TV, did this, did that, your whole career, and you think that you could just leave here and go. Kobe didn't start. Kobe didn't start.
No, Kobe didn't start. You're right. Yeah.
And he's number 2 to me. Kevin Garnett. He only played sparingly, and I think he said that he wish he hadn't. He was just in Minnesota. So yeah, you and Malik Sealy go play.
Malik Sealy, yeah.
And then the next week we're bringing Steph. Had Steph stayed, they probably would have got very close to a chip if those 3 had still been there. Malik died, God bless him, and
please. Oh, I was going to say, please put a last name to that because they would think.
Malik Sealy.
No, and you said Steph, and
Stephon Marbury.
Yes.
Sorry, my bad. If Stephon Marbury, stayed, man, listen, man. Dudes tell you now, Steph is one of the best guards in the league in the 90s. Period. In the story.
100%.
But what I'm saying is, it's not often that you see a high school kid come out, unless it's a center. Jonathan Bender, Stromile Swift, O'Neal from Indiana, Jermaine O'Neal, and guys like that, because they were big guys, so it was a little different, and Kwame Brown and those dudes, where they could play as a high school kid, but also the league was forcing that on them, right? Because Eric is a 6'11", goes to school at 71st. He's nice, you ain't got to go to college, man. You go straight to the league. And now you looking at your house, your mama, your house, your Uncle Kev, when we get him out of the police force and come back at you're going to do these things.
Yeah, I agree.
So it's I got a lot of issues with the whole system, but I understand it.
Yeah. Your thoughts on college basketball and where it's at and what I was reading there from Pat 40.
Well, I just feel like with the NILs, I mean, I don't like D-Dub said, it's a big difference to me from basketball to football. I just feel like these guys shouldn't be moving every year if they want to. It should be some kind of, okay, well, if you transfer over here and you get this bag over here or whatever have you, then you need to stay with this team at least for a year or 2 years or something like that. It should be some parameters. I feel like that should be with coaches too, but we ain't got time for all of that. And here's another thing too about with these college kids, right? You don't never know. Everybody got different situations and whatnot, right? I just feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, the coaching is way better in the college game than it is in the pros. You got too many parameters. You got guys that are inexperienced, or you got guys that don't even want to be an NBA coach because, hell, the star player is making 18 times more than you are. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, so it's a lot to go. It's a lot that goes along with that too, man. It's a lot of branches to that tree. And it'll take probably about a week long just to chop up everything that comes along with that. But I would definitely, coaches, players, y'all got to stay at least 2 years, man. I'm sorry, especially if you play, yeah, you got to play. And if you don't get your money, then I guess that's your way out. You go to another team or what have you.
So, Eric, I absolutely 100% agree with you. Yes, they're wanting the kids to stay put or whatever case may be. Yeah, I'm with that too. But yeah, coaches, if you don't, then you might need to sit out a year before you can coach again, just like the kids. Or put a rule in a case like that, and just put some parameters. Like even with the even with the football stuff, right? How during the postseason, the kids there's movement around, which is totally crazy, man. How you just move from one team to another during that time, man. But I fault, as DA always said, it ain't the kids, it's the adults in the room. They did this. They orchestrated this. They allowed this. They
allow it. You teach it.
Yes. So
there's a coach that lost Saturday, and he left to another school.
I was gonna get into that too. Yeah. I mean, it's just what it is.
He packed his bags. His bags is packed already. Bounce.
Yeah. Well, the dude from McNeese State, I will say this. At least he kept it 100. He didn't lie about it. You know what I'm saying? He was like, he didn't say, eat your prayer, say your prayers, eat your vitamins. He's like, nah, yeah, I got another gig lined up. And I guess you can't tell.
I'm not mad at it. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah. If you get another opportunity, we're all for in this panel. You get another opportunity to go somewhere and they're paying more money or whatever the case may be, it's just a better opportunity. You're out. Period.
That's the same thing the kids are doing.
And I would admonish the kids to do the same thing. If you get a better opportunity within your contract, if your contract says X, Y, and Z, you got to follow the letter of the law of the contract. But if you're able to, if you fulfilled your obligations, I don't see there's no problem. There should be a problem for them to, seek interest elsewhere. Now, however, again, going back to what E is saying, it should be something for it, because this bouncing of these, you never get no continuity of players and playing together and coaches and stuff like that. So
I don't think they want it.
That's a good point, D. Excuse me. That's a good point.
As I said the other day, right? I said your guys thought that they said college basketball is not as popular as before because the people say, oh, we don't know the kids, they're not there long enough, they're not doing this, they're not doing that. Right? It's not them, man. It's the coaches. When I can go back now to Raleigh Massimino.
Yep.
And only can name one player on that team, Ed Pickney. It's not the kids, man. People attach themselves to the institutions and the coaches. Now, the coaches have to stay somewhere long enough to where people, the coach becomes a star. Lou Carnesecca was a star. John Thompson, Jimmy Boeheim, Dean Smith, Jimmy Valvano, Jimmy Calhoun. You remember the coaches, Jerry Tarkanian. You don't remember who's on that freaking team the first time they got good at UNLV? Sorry, Coco. But yeah, you can't there's nothing you can do, man. The coaches have to be the standard bearers. And if they're the standard bearers, people will roll with the coaches because the kids are supposed to leave anyway after 2-3 years. The coach is the guy supposed to be there 20 years. Oops, no, not anymore. You lost at McNeese State, now I'm going to Texas. You know what I'm saying? So I understand you get the bag, but you just got to remember the guys that don't go with you, where do you leave them? And that's always been my problem because no coach gives a F about what happens to Eric, who's still at McNeese State. I'm out. Are you taking Eric with you to Texas? Oh, no, they already got a 6'11" kid.
You didn't say that in our home visit, sir, when you came to the.
Listen, man, you was listening to the wrong things.
Yo, DA hates that. You gonna tell me I love your son, I love your daughter? No, you don't.
Yeah, we can't do that. Mama Warren, I'm glad I was muted just now, boy, because I said about 8 curse words in a row just now. Because I've been in the living room with coaches. I've been in there, man. Right. And they said, "Oh, we gonna take Dorian and do this and do that." First season. Oh yeah, I'm leaving to go to App State. What? I catch your little ass in the street. You ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to have an app in your state.
Definitely, man. Definitely. Let me move on to the quarter play. There, as we know, there was NCAA play this weekend. And I'll just go off some of the brackets. The men's, they had some of the notable things here. I'll go over here. BYU, Wisconsin. That was a good one. What was that one I said about what's my man right there? Who we said he traveled at the end of the game. Was it Maryland? Yeah, Maryland. Derek Queen's buzzer beating fadeaway gives Maryland their 72-71 victory over Colorado State. With Maryland trailing 71-70 with only 3.6 seconds left, Colorado State in the second round of the NCAA Terrapins coach Kevin Willard gave each of his players a chance to say they wanted to take the last shot. Queen spoke up using the explicit for emphasis. The 6'10 freshman from Baltimore banked a fadeaway jumper at the buzzer, and Maryland won a 72-71 thriller on Sunday to reach the Sweet 16 for the first time since 2016. Sometimes you can draw something up for the big guy that maybe doesn't want the basketball. Willard said. So once he said that, he was pretty simple decision, and I could see everyone's body language kind of perk up a little bit because he was so confident that he wanted the basketball. It was just a simple zipper, give him the ball and let it go. Queen took the ball all top of the key, drove to the left, elevated over 2 defenders and kissed it through the glass. I'll stop reading that. Some would argue that, hey, he traveled on that thing. Go ahead, D-Dub.
No, some did argue that. There's a lot of people saying there's a travel on that. Made the shot, so kudos to him.
Any surprises during the I'll just pass it out to the panel. Any surprises y'all seen this year? St. John's, I was a little disappointed with St. John's, but St. John's can't shoot. They awful 3-point shooting. They can't shoot from the I don't
know if they can't shoot or was that's just the game they have, man. Because
no, they can't shoot.
No, they can't shoot.
They can't shoot.
Yeah,
because they're not like a good team.
Okay.
No, they're good and get it down below, get it down and play like transition. But as far as like shooting,
they're a good slicing team. They're not a good setup and shoot spotter.
Which is why
that game Saturday exposed them.
And this is why they said
you got to clamp down in their paint.
Yeah, you're right, E.
Go ahead, D.
No, I was saying you're right for sure. You can just see it, and that's why Rick Pitino says, "Yo, man, I got to find me a kid that's playing at Iowa this year that used to be from somewhere else in upstate New York. We're going to bring him back here, and he can knock it out from wherever he has on the court. As soon as he can shoot, it's good. Boom. We need him. We don't need young boy from Bed-Stuy that can jump out the gym. Got a million of those.
Yeah.
We need a sure enough jump shot shooter.
So some of the Sweet 16 matchups this weekend coming. You got Friday, you got Auburn and Michigan. You got Ole Miss against Michigan State. That should be a good one. Like I said, the SEC, man, football school and basketball school, man. They got Oh, you got Florida and Maryland coming up. Texas Tech and Arkansas. And then on the other side of the bracket, you got Kentucky and Tennessee. Houston and Purdue. That should be a good one. Shout out to my alma mater, Purdue. You got BYU and Alabama. BYU escaping Wisconsin last night. Then you got Duke and Arizona. And yep, that's all for the Sweet 16. And then they'll narrow down to the Elite 8 and then to the Final Four after the dust clear. Any body sticking out? I still think, I guess, Florida is the cream of the crop. Oh, you muted, DA. Go ahead. Oh.
They seem like it, man. But Arkansas is good. I think they got somebody. Who they got? Arkansas is playing. Texas Tech. So
yeah, Texas Tech.
And shout out to Ryan said it about his Houston Cougars. What's my man's name, man? That dude he can shoot that ball, man. For real. I forgot dude's name, but dude can absolutely shoot the rock here. What is his name there? It'll come to me here in a second, man. But it should be interesting to see. I enjoyed it. Like Mike Mills said this weekend, man. Make sure you enjoy the basketball. For the ladies, I was checking them out too. They're actually on my screen now. UConn is up 13-12 over South Dakota State. So D-Dub, that game is close. Okay, it's 2 against 10.
Okay. Well, Juju play tonight at 10 o'clock. So probably I'm trying to see if I can hang out and stay around for that. But yeah, it's close right now. We'll see.
Okay. We'll see, man. But we'll have more basketball when we have the other basketball gentlemen back. We just wanted to do some of the backstories, and we'll bring up that thing again with Mike and Ryan come back here on Thursday. Hey, opening day, the real opening day. I don't really count what the Dodgers did in Tokyo. I think y'all know how I feel about opening up.
Where you stand at?
Opening up across.
Guys.
Yeah.
It's one series. It's one series, Kev.
I guess. Mookie Blaylock, man, get better, man. I was reading reports that he's been really sick, man, losing weight and stuff like that. He has some kind of illness, and he just wasn't even able to start in a series against the
Mookie Betts, man.
Mookie, did I say Blaylock? Damn.
Yeah.
He did say Blaylock. I'm like, what happened to Mookie?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, okay, Mookie Betts. Okay, same thing. I said, yeah. As long as I didn't say Mookie Wilson. Well, I probably should have said Mookie Wilson because he played baseball. So, thanks out to the DH. Mookie Betts, get better, sir. He's been battling some illness with the Dodgers, man, and couldn't go to get. He was supposed to play the little exhibition series against the Angels, and he was a late scratch for that, man. But hey, the real opening day is this coming this week. So yeah, baseball is back. I'm looking forward to the season. I'm looking forward to seeing what my Yankees can do. I don't know how much they're gonna do, but
they still got them winning the AL East, so
yeah, gotcha. So we'll see, man. Hey, no party shots on Monday nights. It is what it is. That's when it comes to that, man. We're just glad we're hanging out. It's called the Rewind for a reason. So we're rewinding, man. So on behalf of myself and the whole crew, this is the Sports Chasers podcast. Y'all be good. Y'all be great. Y'all be blessed. Hey, holla at us on Thursday night, man. And we'll talk to y'all later. Be good. Peace.
Peace.
Wow. That's a wrap for today's episode of the Sports Chasers podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube and your favorite podcast platforms and connect with us on all social media channels for exclusive content and updates. We'd also love for you to join the conversation, share your thoughts, and become part of the Sports Chasers community. And remember to tune in next time for some more real sports talk. Until then.